Jay-Z's career, you can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16, 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce, right? And you go, prior to that, one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see their kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them the things that...
Diddy's empire once symbolized success, style, and superstardom. From shaping hip-hop culture to throwing the wildest parties, Sean Combs had it all. Money, power, and influence. But now, the image he built over decades is unraveling in public. The federal indictment against him doesn't pull punches. It accuses him of operating a criminal enterprise, using his fame and business as cover for sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, and even bribery. It's not just the charges, it's the details. The so-called freak-off parties, described as drug-fueled marathons with sex workers of both genders, were reportedly orchestrated and recorded without consent. Hidden cameras, secret rooms, elite guests. It's the kind of scandal that doesn't stay contained, and the ripple effects are starting to hit others in his circle. Whispers say Diddy's been cooperating quietly, giving names, offering leverage. Some believe he's been working with authorities long before his arrest, buying time and protection with secrets. That's where things get even darker, because now the feds want to know who was at those parties and what did they do. Celebrities, executives, politicians. If they were in the room, even unknowingly, they may be dragged into this firestorm. And as the pressure builds, attention is turning to one of Diddy's closest allies, Jay-Z, because if Diddy's going down, he's not going alone.
Space.
Jay-Z's name emerges. Guilt by association.
A do-si-do does not make you a country artist. She did a whole commercial for the Christmas failure. I keep thinking everybody forgot. Her little section was the entertainment for the game. That's what they got for Christmas. Some old bitch running around in a drawers with chaps on, who advertised the song with a banjo. And we got no banjo. They did so many do-si-do tricks, had Blue Ivy out there making mistakes and looking wild, forgetting where she was. And they keep putting this little girl in dresses where her cleavage is pushed up.
When Jay-Z's name started trending in the middle of the Diddy scandal, it didn't come from court documents. It came from silence. The internet noticed what Jay-Z wasn't saying. A longtime friend and business partner of Diddy, Jay-Z has known the mogul for decades. They came up together in the same circles, attended the same events, and co-signed each other in front of the world. But when the feds raided Diddy's properties and the walls began to close in, Jay-Z vanished from the conversation. Not a statement, not a word. And in today's world, silence speaks volumes. The speculation grew louder when 50 Cent posted that now famous meme, Jay-Z's face on a milk carton labeled missing. The jokes didn't hide the real question. Why was Jay-Z so quiet? Then Jaguar Wright stepped in. Her claims weren't subtle. She's called Jay-Z worse than Diddy, accusing him of far more sinister behavior hidden behind his carefully managed image. As Diddy's legal drama grows, experts believe Jay-Z could be called as a witness or even named in future charges. His history with Diddy is deep. Their friendship wasn't just social, it was business, travel, parties, and influence. The question now is no longer if Jay-Z was around, it's how involved he may have been. And if Diddy talks, the truth could change everything.
I smoked for 45 years and I couldn't stop. I read this silly book by Alan Carr, The Easy Way to Stop Smoking. And it's a silly title, right? And it was sad my son gave it to me. He said, "Stop smoking, Dad. Here's this book." I left it on. I used to walk past the bookshelf and go, "Dumb book, dumb title." My doctor said, "You have first stage emphysema." And I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." He said, "Yeah, you got to get the smile." I said, "Yeah, I better read this book."
What did the book tell you?
It didn't tell you you're bad, you're going to die. It didn't tell you all that sort of stuff. They had a chapter where it says, okay, we focused on the negative aspects of smoking. Now we're going to talk about the good aspects of smoking in the next chapter. And then you turn the page and the page is empty. The whole thing was a mind trick, but it worked. And I don't know why it worked.
There's just been a shocking revelation from federal authorities regarding a highly private and scandalous video involving none other than Jay-Z and Beyoncé, reportedly taken during a wild party hosted by Diddy. Apparently during a Homeland Security raid on Diddy's properties, some rather intriguing discoveries were made, including compromising footage featuring numerous beloved celebrities caught in scandalous situations. Speculation is rife that Diddy intentionally leaked this footage to authorities as a form of revenge against the Carters, allegedly due to their perceived lack of support during his legal battles. It seems he's on a mission to embarrass them at any cost. Adding fuel to the fire, an unsettling audio clip allegedly featuring Meek Mill and Diddy has surfaced, courtesy of Diddy's former bodyguard.
Hidden cameras and dark secrets. What Diddy might have on Jay-Z.
Beyonce is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day, and she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof is there.
One of the scariest rumors to emerge from this scandal isn't about what people saw, it's about what was recorded. According to former insiders and security staff, Diddy's mansions were rigged with surveillance devices, audio bugs, hidden cameras, and secret recording systems in nearly every room. It wasn't just for protection. Allegedly, it was about leverage, about control, about blackmail. The freak-off parties weren't just wild events, they were setups. And if Jay-Z was ever in attendance, as many believe, then he may have been recorded too. Not necessarily doing something illegal, but maybe something that would destroy his image if it ever got out. That fear explains the silence. Lawyers know that one leaked tape could collapse careers, marriages, and billion-dollar brands. Jay-Z's legal team has reportedly gone into overdrive behind the scenes, preparing for damage control. The threat here isn't just legal, it's psychological. Diddy allegedly used these recordings to ensure no one turned on him, to keep people loyal, to keep them quiet. Now that he's facing serious prison time, some believe he may start using those recordings as bargaining chips. Jay-Z might not have said a word publicly, but privately, he's likely bracing for the storm, and the closer the investigators get, the more valuable that silence becomes. But silence won't hold forever. Eventually, the truth always leaks.
Beyonce is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day, and she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say so?
I mean, probably not, considering she's gonna be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof is there.
Beyonce's alleged role, control, compliance, and a gilded cage.
Sometimes you have to tell Diddy no.
Oh, man, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, man.
Sean Diddy Combs' alleged list of accomplishments to be revealed soon. The names will shock you, attorney says. Whoa.
I think he's going to sing, hey. If I got invited to the white party, I'd have gone.
Especially if you didn't know.
Of course, no one knew. No one
right.
knew.
If
And then
you don't know, you're
find
just
out.
a celebrity, and you know, oh, Jennifer Lopez is going to be there. Oh, Rick
That's what I'm
Ross is
saying.
going to be there. Everyone's going to be there.
And-
That would be a cool place. I want to meet those people.
As Jay-Z's name gets dragged further into the scandal, Beyonce's role is also being questioned. For years, the power couple has been seen as untouchable, a flawless image of wealth, talent, and unity. But behind the scenes, insiders paint a different story. Some rumors suggest Beyoncé wasn't just Jay-Z's partner. She was part of the control. Allegedly, she even helped manage who he interacted with at Diddy's events, choosing women for him, keeping tabs, and helping maintain their image at all costs. Others see her as a prisoner in her own empire. According to Jaguar Wright, Beyoncé is constantly monitored, told what to wear, eat, say, and do. She's described not as a wife, but as an employee, a product, a brand owned by the man she married. It's led to growing support for what some are now calling the Free Beyoncé movement, a plea to acknowledge what may be happening behind closed doors. There are whispers that Beyoncé is preparing for a quiet exit. She's moving assets, making solo appearances, sending subtle signals. If a divorce happens, it'll be bigger than Will and Jada, bigger than Kim and Kanye. The world will be watching, and the truth behind the Carter empire may finally be exposed.
The new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like
To us, black excellence.
that had to be there.
We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brought you like,
I hate you, man.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you is this year. Yeah. Come on, bro.
That's right. Now, I bet you want to know why Jay-Z and Beyonce's name keep popping up around the whole Diddy thing. Well, that's why I'm here. Now, first thing you gotta know is when somebody like Diddy gets taken down, things always start out as a rumor. Diddy has had rumors floating around for like decades. Well, Jay-Z had a problem. He's right there in the corner, by the way. Jay-Z has had a few rumors himself, but more like speculation. People see Jay-Z in a picture of R. Kelly, they're like, I guess they both make music. Then Jay-Z with Harvey Weinstein. People are like, I guess they both do business. Then, of course, Jay-Z with Diddy. Now, hold on. Here's the thing. Jay-Z and Diddy go way back. Like back to the days when they were both coming up. So you could say they might just have a lot of respect for each other. But on the other hand, people are like, well, if you've known each other that long, Jay-Z, you must have known what Diddy was on. But Jay-Z has always had a history of keeping quiet, which brings us to Aaliyah. Now, I'm sure y'all remember R. Kelly dated Aaliyah when she literally needed her parents' permission slip to get married. Now, if I remember correctly, her parents got the permission slip and said, marry who? And that's how this whole thing got exposed. Now, a lot of people in the industry actually knew about this relationship because they would work with R. Kelly. They would be in the studio with R. Kelly. Now, according to Dame Dash, who listened closely, was Jay-Z's first business partner and also dated Aaliyah when she was 21. He said this is how it went. He said he didn't want anything to do with R. Kelly because everyone knew what type of timing R. Kelly was on. He looks over at Jay-Z and Jay-Z's out here creating collab albums with R. Kelly. But then he saw why. For starters, everyone had a crush on Aaliyah. People were waiting down the clock until she turned 18. But Jay-Z decided to get a head start. Now, there was absolutely no proof that Jay-Z went after Aaliyah, but people were like,
Jay-Z's past comes back, grooming allegations, industry control, and violence. As Jay-Z stays silent, more people are starting to speak up, and what they're saying could change everything. One of the darkest rumors haunting Jay-Z is the allegation that he groomed Beyoncé from a young age. While the public story says they met when she was 18, insiders claim he was already involved in her life when she was just 16. What began as mentorship may have crossed serious boundaries, and it doesn't stop there. Behind the flawless PR campaigns and picture-perfect appearances, disturbing claims are surfacing about how much control Jay-Z has allegedly had over Beyoncé's life. From her diet to her wardrobe, even her stage presence, everything is said to be monitored, dictated, and approved by Jay himself.
It's a big week for Jay-Z. His Rock Nation is geared up to produce the most watched live performance of the year, the Super Bowl halftime show. And of course, he was there to cheer on his wife, who took home the coveted award of Album of the Year at this year's Grammys. So in light of all of that, he's also making a surprising move in his ongoing back and forth with Tony Buzbee. Now at this point, we all know who the Texas-based attorney is. You know, the same one who said that he had more than 100 accusers ready to file lawsuits against Diddy.
After vetting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file these individual cases.
And of course, we know later that Jane Doe, who is being represented by the Texas attorney, filed a suit a couple weeks after this press conference accusing Diddy of raping her when she was just 13 years old. Then amended that complaint weeks later, adding Jay-Z, Sean Carter's name to that child rape lawsuit alongside Diddy. A female celebrity was also mentioned in that complaint as well. However, her identity has since remained a mystery. Since that happened, first, let me say both Sean Combs and Sean Carter have denied those accusations. Diddy's team said, quote, "In court, the truth will prevail, that Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor." Meanwhile, Jay-Z made a scathing statement of denial, mainly targeting Tony Buzbee. He said in part, quote, "My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Buzbee. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir, it had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny." Now that statement went on to call Tony Buzbee a deplorable human, a man with no valor, and an ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. Now, while Diddy sits in a jail cell awaiting trial, by the way, pleaded not guilty to those charges, denies all the accusations.
Then there are whispers of violence. Some sources claim that Beyoncé's father, Matthew Knowles, had to step in after a private incident where Jay-Z allegedly struck her. It's an accusation many fans refuse to believe, but those who followed the industry closely say it's been talked about for years. What's even more alarming is the story of how Jay-Z allegedly took over the Houston rap scene. Some say it was a business move, others say it was more hostile, pushing Beyoncé's father out of the picture to seize full control of her career and the music machine around her. All these pieces are now resurfacing at the worst possible time. And with Diddy's scandal peeling back layers of the industry's darkest corners, Jay-Z may be about to face a reckoning of his own. And while these stories are blowing up online, it's what the feds may have in hand that truly has Hollywood terrified.
Disgraced music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, once known for his lavish lifestyle and living large in his multi-million-dollar mansions, has a new home as he awaits trial in his federal sex trafficking case. Last week, the Bad Boy Founder's defense team unsuccessfully fought to keep the music producer out of federal jail after his arrest. Now his new digs once house other high-profile inmates, including R. Kelly, Fetty Wap, Sam Bankman-Fried, and Ghislaine Maxwell. Diddy is currently housed at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York, a stark difference from the glitz, glamour, and wealth in Hollywood and Star Island in Miami Beach, Florida. But MDC Brooklyn has been described as hell on earth, with horrifying conditions. The facility, which now houses Diddy, opened in the early 90s and is the only federal jail in New York City after the Bureau of Prisons closed its Metropolitan Correctional Center in 2021 after many issues came to light in the wake of Jeffrey Epstein's suicide just 2 years earlier.
Now, Abby, that video that you just spoke about was a few months ago when our team broke this disturbing video of Diddy violently assaulting his ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, better known as the singer, her stage name, Cassie. Now, up until this point, when we broke this video, Diddy had denied the allegations against him. Cassie is one of 10 civil suits against Diddy, 9 of which he is accused directly of sexually assault. Up until that video, he denied everything. After that video came out, he changed his tone. He apologized for his conduct in that video. But I have to tell you, Abby, just as of last week, a former member of Danity Kane, which was one of the bands from Making the Band, Diddy's show that was on MTV, she sued him for sexual assault and other disturbing allegations, and he denied that. So he continues the denials, and he still maintains his innocence, even though he has been arrested tonight.
Freak off tapes, celebrity panic, and the coming collapse. If the rumors are true, what's sitting in government hands right now could flip the entertainment world upside down. Authorities reportedly found hard drives, phones, and security backups during the raids on Diddy's properties. And inside, footage, thousands of hours of it. Some of that video reportedly includes scenes from Diddy's infamous freak-off parties, raw, unfiltered moments of celebrities, influencers, and elite insiders behind closed doors, drunk, high, doing things they'd never want the public to see. That's why Hollywood is panicking. Celebrities are deleting old posts. Some are disabling comments. Others are vanishing from social media altogether. Legal teams are being hired overnight. Crisis PR firms are on speed dial because no one knows what footage might surface or who might be named. For Jay-Z, the stakes are higher than most. His reputation has always been about control, strategy, and staying clean. But if he's caught on tape, even just being present, it could destroy everything he's built. His brand, his businesses, his marriage, they'd all be at risk. And with streaming platforms already circling to create documentaries and exposés.
Hey, I'm Hallie, and tonight we are learning in just the last few minutes that a federal judge is now refusing to grant Sean Diddy Combs bail. Instead, he's going straight to jail tonight after Diddy pleaded not guilty to charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. Want to show you some of these brand new court sketches coming into us, like literally in the last 90 seconds. This is Combs in court after prosecutors arrested him at a hotel in Manhattan. It's where he's apparently been living for weeks, according to what a person familiar with the move tells NBC News. All of it a tipping point now in that sprawling federal investigation into the superstar's alleged years of sex crimes dating back to 2009. As we're just getting in some new and deeply disturbing details about the allegations against him and what looks like a massive criminal operation, allegedly. At least 50 victims and witnesses so far. And at the center of it, these hours and days-long sex acts known as, in their words, freak-offs. that Combs supposedly orchestrated to abuse his victims.
The public isn't just watching this unfold, they're ready to consume it. The fall of a legend is a story people love to tell. If even one tape drops, it won't just be about Diddy anymore. Jay-Z will be in the headlines, Beyoncé will be forced to speak, and the internet, it won't hold back. The industry is holding its breath because what comes next could reshape everything. Is this the end of Jay-Z and Beyoncé? Behind closed doors, the Carter Empire appears to be unraveling, and fast. What once seemed like the perfect union of power, influence, and music royalty is now teetering on the edge of collapse. For years, Jay-Z and Beyoncé crafted an image of unmatched dominance, a marriage that transcended celebrity and stood as a symbol of Black excellence, success, and unity. But now, whispers have turned into headlines, and those close to the couple are starting to talk. According to multiple sources embedded in the industry, Beyoncé has been preparing to exit the relationship quietly, but decisively. We're not talking about just walking away. We're talking about financial strategy. Insiders say she's been meeting with legal and financial advisors for months. There have been talks of revising their prenuptial agreements, separating assets, and creating entirely new investment streams that are solely under her name. Her recent focus on solo ventures, her tour, her brand launches, her public rebranding are reportedly part of a much bigger plan, establishing full independence.
Sean Diddy Combs is locked up in a federal jail that has been plagued by harsh conditions and violence. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn has seen multiple deaths in recent years. An inmate was stabbed to death in July, and several others have died by suicide. It's these reasons, among others, that Combs' lawyers are fighting to get him out of there. They want him released on bail rather than being kept in jail while he awaits trial on sex trafficking charges. Combs is just the latest high-profile defendant to be locked up at MDC Brooklyn. Before him, there were R. Kelly, Elaine Maxwell, and crypto scammer Sam Bankman-Fried. Maxwell complained about her treatment at the facility, which included round-the-clock checks in the wake of her associate Jeffrey Epstein's jail suicide. A few years ago, a week-long power outage in the dead of winter left detainees in drab, cold conditions. Judges have also raised alarms. They've pressed the Bureau of Prisons for status updates and implored the agency to fix things. One judge even refused to send some defendants to the jail. For now, Combs is one of about 1,200 people locked up at MDC Brooklyn. He's the highest profile detainee at a place that's been described as hell on earth.
Then there's Jay-Z, once the most calculated, composed figure in entertainment. Insiders describe him as spiraling behind the scenes. Not publicly, of course. He's still showing face when necessary, but privately, it's a different story. Sources say he's become increasingly emotional, paranoid, and isolated. He's allegedly been cutting ties with longtime friends, shutting down communication with certain associates, and growing obsessed with figuring out who might be leaking stories or preparing to flip on him if more scandals surface. For a man who built an empire on control, he's losing his grip, and he knows it. The internet is ablaze with speculation. The media is circling like sharks. Public opinion is turning at record speed. The once untouchable Carter brand is suddenly vulnerable. And if the rumored tapes truly exist, if even one clip sees the light of day, Jay-Z's entire legacy could shatter overnight. No spin, no PR fix, just collapse. And what about Beyoncé? She's being watched with increasing intensity. The same fans who once worshipped her as an untouchable icon are now asking different questions. Is she safe? Is she trapped in a controlling partnership? Or has she played a more active role than people want to admit? The whispers that she's been micromanaged, surveilled, and even silenced are now being taken more seriously. What was once dismissed as conspiracy is now being analyzed frame by frame, lyric by lyric. Some claim she's been laying the groundwork for freedom for years, dropping coded messages in her visuals, using her performances to speak without speaking. And if she does file for divorce, it won't just be personal, it will be seismic. This isn't a celebrity breakup, this is a cultural reckoning. Because the Carters aren't just another celebrity couple, they're a dynasty, a brand, a global movement, and if that dynasty falls, it won't just change how we see them, it'll force the world to re-examine what's been happening in the shadows of power, fame, and fortune for decades. This isn't just a Hollywood scandal, it's the possible collapse of the most carefully curated image in modern pop culture. Jay-Z and Beyoncé were more than a couple, they were a kingdom, and if the tapes surface, if the testimonies keep stacking, if the betrayals become too loud to ignore, this This won't be remembered as just another bump in the road. It will be remembered as the final chapter, the downfall of a throne, the end of an era, the end of Jay-Z and Beyoncé.